Good evening and a very warm welcome to this hour's English news package with radio and television Tonga news for tonight. Making headlines, new concern for the Ministry of Health with the recent outbreak of rhinovirus and flu. World Bank commits another $19 million to safer schools and improved emergency early warning systems in Tonga. And Catholic Church mark their 180th anniversary since the religion was established in Tonga. Now, I'm Bafonato Bola with the stories in detail. The acting CEO of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Nuku'alofa, is urging the public to be more cautious of other diseases that are on the rise during this difficult time. The concern is because the new outbreak of rhinovirus and flu is spreading across the country, and the hospital has seen a large number of patients being admitted with the symptoms of this outbreak. Mark Ake with more on that story.
Speaking to radio and television Tonga News this morning, Acting Health CEO Dr. Nuku'alofa says many people have tested positive for the rhinovirus and the flu. She says this outbreak is also spreading in New Zealand. Nuku'alofa says the symptoms are similar to COVID, as it includes runny nose, coughing, headaches, and fever. Dr. Nuku'alofa hopes that the public won't take the current COVID-19 restrictions lightly, as they can protect them not only from COVID-19 but from the flu and rhinovirus. The Ministry of Health believes that the flu made its way to Tonga through recent repatriation flights.
The World Bank's Board of Executive Directors has approved a $19.5 million, approximately to 46 million pa'anga, in additional funding for disaster recovery and resilient projects in Tonga. And this includes work to support Tonga's ongoing recovery from January's Hunga Tonga, Hunga Ha'apai volcanic eruption and tsunami. Also, to strengthen emergency early warning systems and effort to make Tongan schools safer and stronger in the face of future disasters. Since 2018, natural disasters such as Tropical Cyclone Kita and Harold, as well as the recent Hunga Tonga, Hunga Ha'apai eruption, have caused an estimated $457 million in damages and loss for Tonga, and posted World Bank to continue on standing with Tonga and support recovery efforts. The new funding will add $14.5 million to the Tonga Safe and Resilient Schools project, bringing the total project to $29.5 million. This will further support the Tongan government's ongoing repair, recovery and reconstruction efforts for schools impacted by the volcanic eruption and tsunami. It will also increase investments in stronger building materials, better designs and improved maintenance of schools to withstand impacts of future disasters and climate events. Meanwhile, the recovery from the volcano alone will cost at least $165 million, or around 33% of Tonga's GDP. Therefore, Finance Minister the Honourable Tongatapu Moeaki says they are grateful for this support from the World Bank, as it will assist them to not only on recovery but also to build the ongoing resilience of Tongan communities to both climate and natural disasters. The government and the King's Paletoa project began efforts to install water and electricity in the Matatoa area. Mark Ake will tell you more on that story.
Work has begun on the land in Matatoa for the Kanakupolu community. The land is 30 acres. The acting Lord Chamberlain and officer in charge of the Paletoa project, Mosese Vakasiola, said that together with the government, they have begun efforts to install water and electricity at Matatoa. The blueprint for the project will be provided soon before further work is done. The land in Matatoa has been cleared for construction and a map for the road system has been prepared. Vakasiola says there is an ongoing survey for the people of Kanakupolu to establish those who have land and those that were heavily affected by the January 15th devastation before homes are constructed. In a previous press conference with the Royal Palace office, it was revealed that each family will have at least 30 poles of land. The construction of homes is worth 14 million pa'anga, while the town hall costs 1.1 million pa'anga. The project aims to create a new home for the people of Kanakupolu and Mango, who were affected by the volcanic eruption and tsunami in January, as their village and island are no longer safe to live in.
The uniqueness of Tonga, our country and cultural history, is the theme that the Ministry of Tourism is trying to promote to empower tourism sector in Tonga after many challenges has faced since the COVID-19 pandemic. Mark Ake again will tell you more on that story.
The CEO of Tonga Tourism, Sione Moala Mafi, says that Tonga is currently in the orange and light COVID lockdown alert and they are waiting for a time the borders might open to bring in tourists. Many programs and activities will be held by the ministry, including Heilala Week and the anniversary of His Majesty's coronation. The ministry began Heilala Week last Sunday with a church service, and they planned out activities and programs for each day of Heilala Week. The ministry will broadcast a documentary tonight on radio and television Tonga about the traditional drumming and cultural performances throughout the history of different villages. There will also be other broadcasts with different themes on Tongan traditions and culture on radio and television Tonga throughout the week to enlighten and educate the public, especially the youth. COVID-19 caused Heilala Week to be cancelled in the past 2 years due to COVID. But now, the ministry is able to revive the festival this year.
Members of the Catholic Church in Tonga gathered at Pangaimotu on Saturday morning to celebrate its 180th anniversary with a Mass. This Mass was led by the Catholic Bishop Diocese of Tonga and Niue, His Eminence Soane Patita Paini Cardinal Mafi, together with the Vicar General, Monsignor Ludovico Finau, followed by the bishops and the two deacons, also members of the church, who attended the Mass. The Cardinal says during the Mass that since 1842, the Diocese of Tonga had accomplished great achievement, including the establishment of the Catholic schools and charity programs to assist poverty in Tonga. The first Catholic Mass in Tonga was in Pangaimotu on the 2nd of July 1842 by missionaries from France. However, nearly 50 church members attended the Mass gathered on Saturday morning at Pangaimotu. And several projects at Beulah Adventist Primary School valued approximately 300,000 pa'anga were gratefully acknowledged during the school assembly last Friday. This follows the unfortunate volcanic eruption in January, followed by several lockdowns due to the rise of COVID-19 cases, and paved the pathway for improved teaching and learning outcomes at Beulah Adventist Primary School. As several projects at Beulah Adventist Primary School completed numerous projects last week, a new bus stop was recently opened to shelter students during bad weather and further enhance student attendance. The bus stop was funded by Tongatapu 8 constituency under the leadership of MP Semisi Whakahau. A new ablution block was also opened as an ablution block for girls and boys with disability, and Cyclone Brown features funded by the World Bank through the Wash and Sanitation with Hygiene project. Another project acknowledged was the upgrading of the veranda for the ECE classroom building to avoid flooding during rainy days. Also, teaching and learning resources were donated from overseas by the same project donor, the children of late Pastor Elisa Teaupa, who was a pioneer teacher at the school in the early 1950s. It was also acknowledged during the school assembly for assisting the school to successfully reopen through the cleaning of large volumes of volcanic ash from the school building and compound. The Ministry of Education and Training, through the National Emergency Management NEMO, donated funding toward this project. Not only that, the school playground was also reopened after having gone through some maintenance and cleaning after the volcanic eruption. The education consultant to Adventist schools in Tonga, Dr. Elizabeth Manson, emphasized the powerful influence of these projects in achieving the primary goal of the school in revealing Jesus to our children. Mr. Asufifita, who represented the Tongatapu 8's constituency office, assured that one of their key roles is to assist schools in its district in providing quality learning for the people of the community. That wraps up this evening's news package, but before we part, here's one final look at today's top stories. New concerns for the Ministry of Health with the recent outbreak of rhinovirus and flu. World Bank commits another $19 million for safer schools and improved emergency early warning systems in Tonga. And Catholic Church mark their 180th anniversary since the religion was established in Tonga. And that's it for tonight. Thank you for your company. I'm Vafanoto Bola. Have a pleasant evening.